You are watching noglocal.com.
Let's talk about three qualities of a successful person. The first is that they're usually positive. It is not that they don't have things that go bad like the rest of us, but they usually have a positive outlook, or they try to see what they can learn. Take, for example, Napoleon Hill, the writer of the book Think and Grow Rich. Extremely famous book. You might have read it. It's been top seller for years, and it still is. Initially, when he went to Andrew Carnegie, and Andrew Carnegie suggested the idea, it was an idea that would take 20 years. And Andrew Carnegie said, look, I'm not paying you. Now, to Napoleon Hill, when he sat and he thought about it, because it was a conversation between the two, and Andrew Carnegie asked him, do you think you can do this? He said immediately, he thought to himself, here the richest man in the world wants me to go to work for him for 20 years, and he's not going to pay me. And he tells me this idea will make me rich. He had misgivings, but he says, he thought to himself, if Andrew Carnegie thinks I can do this, then he must see something in me. See, in that sense, he saw something positive in a hugely negative situation. And he told Andrew Carnegie, he says, yes, I will do it. Of course, after 20 years, no pay from Andrew Carnegie, the book did become a bestseller, and it was successful. And so too today. Sometimes we may have goals or ideas that looks daunting, we're not sure. Maybe we want to start a new business, and the outlook doesn't look as we proposed, or people say, you know, maybe that's not a good idea. So, what should we do? Well, like Napoleon Hill, look at the positive side of it. Have you done your research? Do you have some information about this new business, some experience in it? Do you have some savings for about 6 months or so? And do you have support? People that will be there for you and with you to help you support and carry on this new business. Now, if you have those things, which is the core of a new business, then you have more than what most people have to start a new business. So then go for it. Other people have succeeded, so why can't you? So our outlook should be positive. We look at the positive, what can happen, the good that can happen, and then we'll be like other successful people. Another quality of successful people is that they lack fear. That is, they're not afraid to try and do new things, even if nobody else has done it before. You look at the Wright brothers, who they thought that, you know, we could fly at a time when there were no one flying. And they went and they create all these airplanes and things like this, trying to make it happen. Some of their ideas were silly and funny. Sometimes people laughed at them. Even today we look at some of the ideas we laughed at. I can't believe they thought of that. And that's one of the things with successful people. They're not afraid to try even something new, though people may laugh, though they may mess up, though it may go wrong. And the same with us. If we would like to be more successful at what we do, we should be willing to put fear aside and do the things we want to do. Say that business idea. Okay, we know that the possibility that it may not work and it may fail and that people may laugh at us. And we really don't want anyone to laugh at us. No one does. But it may happen, it may be possible that the business can go bankrupt and that we're not successful. We can learn from that. Just like the Wright brothers. They learned from each failure. And if we can learn from it and become better, then it's possible that we can succeed because of that failure, because of what we've learned from that failure and make the business successful. So don't be afraid to mess up, to fail, and to have people laugh and say, I told you it wouldn't work. It happens. But just like the successful people, they try, they fail, and they learn from their failure and move forward. Another thing with successful people is they're very persistent and determined. Sometimes a little annoying, but they don't stop trying until they succeed. It is said that Edison, who figured out incandescent light, it is said that it took him 10,000 tries to figure it out. I'm not doing formulas and figuring out and going back to the drawing board like he did to figure out this incandescent light, but then you can just get an idea of how much time was spent. And the fact that he was so persistent, he just kept trying and he wouldn't give up. There's a saying, fate rarely calls upon us at a moment of our choosing. Now, this combined with persistence is certainly utilized by successful people today all over. You think about business, those who are successful in relationship, it takes persistence to be there for your mate, and as the saying goes, at the time when you may not be ready for it. Like, for example, when does your wife usually want to talk? At a time when you're ready and available and have all the energy? No, you probably just came from work. You're tired. You probably want to watch some TV and just relax. But as the saying goes, fate really calls upon us at a moment of our choosing. The time when the people need us most is the time when we're burnt, spent, and just don't have the energy. But the successful person will give that person time. They'll give the time even though they know that they're tired and they'd rather do something else, because they understand that to maintain a relationship it takes persistent determination to be successful. So they'll give that time even though they don't feel like it. Similarly with the business. A business takes persistent determination. There are times when things happen out of nowhere and we have to be there. Our expectation of what we think we would make, we didn't make. We were more under than we need to be. The car breaks down and we have limited time to meet that delivery. And we need to be persistent and determined if we're going to make it successful. We have to get another car, we have to replace things, we have to make it work. These three qualities are always there when you examine successful people. And these three qualities will help us to be even more successful. That is, seeing the positive in things, or what we can learn even though it may not have gone the way we'd like. And also, lacking fear, not being afraid to try something new, to try something different, and being persistent. The business may have not made $1 million initially, but keep at it. If we keep fighting and keep working at it and keep developing it, eventually it might make more than $1 million.